Good day, everyone. This is Rich, and in today's video, we're going to discuss some SEO. We're going to go over some things to keep it light. We're going to discuss some things to keep it positive, forward thinking, because there's a lot of negativity in this industry. So let's get into it. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. Okay, to get things started, we're going to use searchenginejournal.com as our resource. So there's a link in the description below. You can check them out. It's a good resource for anything SEO and things that you may want to know about. So it turns out the core update that happened in March 2024 just ended a week ago. It's April 29th and actually ended a while ago. But the last week or so has been the most devastating drops that I've seen on my particular website. And, I worked really hard on all my sites, but this one particular website is just getting crushed, and it's very frustrating. But again, I'm just going to try to keep this positive and keep it light and not focus on the negative. So really quick, I just want to go through the algorithm updates that we've had over the years. This is like through 2017. All the different names. There's probably names that are going to come out for this one. I don't know what they're going to call it. But, these were made up by just people in the industry. They weren't made up by Google or anything like that. And I did a chat GPT prompt about giving me information about each one. And it goes up to 2017, which was Fred. Florida was the one happened before I got into the industry, and this one was pretty crushing. This happened right before Christmas, and they killed a lot of e-commerce sites. And this is what kind of changed what search engine optimization was all about in the world of internet search. And people, every 2 years, sometimes a couple times a year, and there was a couple breaks here, they just eliminated spam. It was pretty around 2005, right after this Jagger, it was named after Mick Jagger, I came on board. A lot of people were just spamming forums and things like that, just creating crappy links that did nothing. Caffeine, there's all these things that came out that really didn't affect me. It was Panda that got me pretty good on one of my sites. And then, of course, it was Penguin that got me pretty good. Anything you tried to, and it wasn't that I was doing it on purpose. It just didn't know. Everyone was kind of doing it. Everyone's kind of just doing the best they can to, not necessarily Black Hat, even though this says it's Black Hat related, or one of them says they're Black Hat. I think it was Panda. I don't know. And then the payday loans, spammy queries, Hummingbird. There's so many different updates that happened over the years. And they're always going after spam. That's, everything is the same in terms of what they're going after. Spam, black hat techniques, link farms, PBNs, you name it. And this one was just totally different, which was kind of interesting because this helpful content update is just eliminated sites that are actually trying to help people. And I guess people just abused it too much and were making too much crappy content that had to force their hand to eliminate stuff that wasn't correct, bad information, bad, research, whatever you want to call it. So they're making their switch to a more user-based content search, which I kind of get in the end. But the sum of everything I'm going to discuss right now, which I'm going to keep this short, is that anytime a major update comes out and your site gets hit hard, very hard, move on, start over, something else. Don't expect that site to come back anywhere near where it was. Panda, Penguin, they all got crushed, and I did everything I could to get them back up. And yeah, I got some rankings back. It's just not worth the time though. It seems like you have a marker on you, and you're always going to be flagged. One site got a manual penalty, where I got de-indexed, and I was able to get back in. Doesn't matter. Obviously, if you put millions of dollars into your website and you have that kind of capital, you can try. And I'm not saying just, migrate over to a new website, all your information. It could be a better situation that you have right now, but it's going to be the same content. So, again, if you get hit hard, it's almost best to just leave it behind. And if it's still getting some traffic, you can still add to it, kind of, keep it updated. But I would move on to a different site, which I've already done. And I'm already ranking for one of my sites, much smaller, obviously. But it's more localized and it's doing well in terms of ranks. It's just not getting the traffic just yet. It's a very high competitive niche. So it's going to take some time in that department. But I'm not doing anything spammy. I'm just putting out the content that's all natural. Nothing's, I'm not focusing on search engines, things like that. Obviously, if I'm talking about freshness algorithm, I'm going to put that in my, meta title. But I'm not going to say, just spam these keywords throughout my content or anything like that. So with the new core update, we know it's done, but I think it's still going to be in the works. It's going to be constantly fluctuating. And, if they finally decide to move Reddit out and Quora and all these other sites down because they've taken over too much and people just get sick of it, you might see some rankings move up. The difference, I think, in this algorithm update versus something in the previous was when Penguin hit or Panda hit, and I was ranking 2, 3, 8, whatever, I was gone, or I was on page 10 or 12. In this case, I'm seeing a lot of ranks just drop 2 spots, 5 spots, 9 spots, some more than that, of course. But it's not like I'm getting hammered across the board and disappearing off the Google search. I'm just getting knocked down by new sites, or not new sites, old sites like Reddit, Quora, discussions and forums. I mentioned this in previous videos. Things, snippets, whatever it is that are moving in, that's taking in ads, taking over the first page. I think that's what's happening the most to me, and that's not necessarily just happening most to you guys. It depends. I did not get hit by the helpful content update in September, August, whatever you want to call it. I did see a little drop there, but it wasn't like I was getting crushed. I actually moved up after that, and then it wasn't until March. Everything was going well. I thought I was going to come out of this one pretty good, and then it just dropped off in April, and it's been dropping since April 5th, I think, and we're on the 29th. Every day I see drops in my traffic. I wasn't getting a huge amount, but it was very based, and it was very it did well. But to lose 10, 20, 40, 100, whatever it is, it's a lot. But going forward, I do have some other sites that did not get hit by this. I'm going to work on those. I'm going to create new sites. I don't know what else I'm going to do, but that's what I'm focusing on. I can't focus on what happened to my previous site and think it's going to come back, because that's going to be a waste of time. I've been through this multiple times. And yes, before Panda, and these were kind of back to back, 2011, 2012, and Penguin, I was crushing it. I mean, I was really crushing it in the toughest niches that you can think of. Yes, did I go after, all my keyword anchor text and things like that? Sure. But I didn't know. There was no rule. It did say you can't manipulate, but it wasn't like, hey, don't just overuse the word, penguin, whatever the word might be. But in my case, I was ranking, top 10 for so many good keywords for, such a converting area. And, it was great. But eventually everything hits ahead, and you have to switch. So right now, with all these keywords and all these algorithm updates, you got to focus on something new, I believe. Or if you want to stay in the same area, start new, change it up a bit, change up the style you're writing, change up all your meta, always keep your keyword in there, I would say, but don't overuse it. Backlinks are still a thing, but they're talking about how backlinks aren't a thing anymore. I don't believe that at all, because how is anyone going to find you if you don't have any backlinks, if Google doesn't find you naturally? I've always been a big fan of natural indexing versus forcing the indexing on Google Search Console. My next video a month from now might talk about how I'm leaving Google altogether and just going to Bing, because I'm just fed up with it all. So if that sums it up for you, I just want to say there's been dozens of updates, some bigger than others. I think Panda and Penguin were way bigger than this one in terms of, we got all these young guys talking on YouTube and Twitter that, I've been around in this industry for 20 years. It's changed so much. There was no social media the way it is back then. Yeah, of course there was like Facebook and things like that, but people weren't using it as much as like they are today, which is like TikTok and Instagram. And people are searching through those programs more than they're searching through Google. The younger generation, I should say. I'm a bit older. I hardly ever use Google search anymore, and that's my industry. I just search for the stuff to try to figure out what's working and, you know, what I can do going forward. You know, if I'm looking for something, I'll ask GPT and then get some resources from that and then go directly to websites. I do not use the Google AI. I will not use that going forward. That's just me. And that's about it. So, you know, take this with a grain of salt, whatever you want to do. I'm just saying, if you got hit hard, try not to waste your time thinking it's going to come back. I'm not saying it won't, but this one's looking pretty ugly. And there's another update coming up next week, or end of this week, I believe. And whatever happens with that can really change the search again. There's a lot of negativity, and I just wanted to just say, hey, look, if you got hit, it's sometimes best to just move on. Yes, it sucks. Yes, you have to work much, much harder. And you might not even succeed with that because it's so hard to get in the top 10 these days. But I think you're better off doing something like that versus trying to recover something that really doesn't stand a chance. I mean, I'm talking everything from new, you know, if you do WordPress sites, new themes, everything, start from scratch, new host. I would do just everything new, so you're not flagged or marked. New search console, you name it, and you know, see what happens. I'm not saying manipulate anything. I'm not saying do anything black hat or anything like that. I'm just saying start fresh, start new, and you know, if you get some good results, that's great. Let me know. You know, I started a site 2 months ago before this all went down, and it's doing well in terms, like I said, for a new site, it's in the rankings. It's not in the top 10, but it's ranking, it's getting indexed, all that good stuff. And I don't even have Google Search Console on there or anything. So, you know, you have to decide how you want to go forward. All I'm saying is, hey, look, if you got hit, it's sometimes best to just move on, accept it. It sucks. And you'll be better off in the long run if you can succeed with a new site, because you might just waste hours, days, weeks, months, whatever you want to call it, on the old. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. And we'll discuss what's next on the next video.